Good morning. Welcome to Capital One's headquarters. I'm Jen Flynn. I head our small business bank division here at Capital One, and I also serve as our Greater Washington Market President. I have the privilege of introducing our honored guest today for a special announcement. But before I introduce our guest, I wanted to spend a little bit of time on Capital One. Virginia has been Capital One's home since our founding. For 30 years, we've grown to the largest bank in Virginia and a top 10 national bank. We've consistently been named one of the best companies to work for, a top company for working mothers like me, and a top company for our veterans and military families. None of that would be possible without the support of our customers, our community, and our employees. And we're proud to employ over 22,000 people in the state of Virginia. I have a deep passion for small businesses, and I know that our special guest here shares that passion. You know, businesses are the fabric of our community and provide about 2/3 of the jobs in this country. You'll hear from our special guest today that there's over 250,000 open jobs in the state of Virginia. In fact, 500 of those jobs are open here at Capital One. And we have openings in all lines of business, tech, as well as our customer support functions, and roles of all levels of experience, and many of them don't require a bachelor's degree. So I encourage you to check it out. Now it's my great honor to introduce our Governor, Glenn Youngkin. Governor Youngkin is a Virginia native who had an exceptional career in the private sector before being elected in 2021. Since then, he's made economic development a top priority. Under Governor Youngkin's leadership, Virginia has welcomed over $85 billion in capital investment from new companies moving to Virginia, as well as expansion of existing businesses in Virginia. Since taking office in 2022, Virginia has seen record job growth, with nearly 250,000 more jobs reported and a record number of Virginia residents working. Virginia was named by CNBC as America's top state for business in 2024 for a record 6th time. Governor Youngkin has worked across the aisle to deliver results for Virginia residents, prioritizing education, public safety, administration, affordability, and supporting veterans and military families. Virginia's economy is strong, resilient, and innovative. We're delighted to have Governor Youngkin here today with us to launch this exciting new program. So please join me. Welcome, Governor Glenn Youngkin.
Well, good morning. Jen, thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you to Capital One for hosting today. I have been here many times for lots of events, and so I just always want to express a deep gratitude to Capital One for being such a pillar in not just the international business community and not just the national business community, but here in Virginia. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. I also want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. This morning we are going to announce a collaborative effort to bring even more opportunity, more jobs, and more prosperity to people all over the Commonwealth of Virginia. I will also present our Federal Worker Support Resource Package, which at its core is built on the tremendous job opportunities across the Commonwealth and the recognition that people who may have or expect or worry about job interruption, there are opportunities in Virginia, and we want to help you find them to build the next chapter of your careers right here in the Commonwealth. Now, in case you haven't heard, Virginia was named by CNBC as America's top state for business. And the reality is that really was, I believe, a well-deserved recognition of the fact that Virginia is indeed the top state in America for business. I mean, it started on day one in our administration. I declared Virginia open for business. I declared that we were going to do the things that we needed to do to get Virginia moving. We were bottom third in the nation in job growth at the time. We had companies saying we're moving away. We, in fact, had seen more people moving away from the Commonwealth of Virginia than moving here from the other 49 states for a decade. And that needed to be changed, and it needed to be changed abruptly. And therefore today we stand showing the results of that. We stand here today with, and I need to update your numbers, nearly $100 billion of capital that has been committed by companies that are either here, that are going to expand, or new ones coming from around the United States or overseas who want to make Virginia their home. We have seen 265,000 more people find jobs. And we have 250,000 jobs that are readily available and open for that next chapter of someone's career. We've seen 10,000 new high-growth companies spring forward and offer that great moment of realizing not just an entrepreneurial's ambitions, but on top of that, for every new business, they will then go to someone else and echo those most powerful words, "You are hired," and one employee becomes 2, that becomes 4, that becomes 8. And that's why I'm always so pleased when I stand with our Secretary of Commerce and Trade, Karen Merrick, who started more businesses than anybody I know, because she knows that path better than most. This is Virginia today, a vibrant, thriving economy that is driven by the future ambitions of companies who want to grow and want to expand, and therefore need a powerful workforce to deliver that. A workforce that is unrivaled around the nation, a workforce that has tremendous educational acumen, a workforce that sees the future, not the past, and a workforce that is dynamic, a workforce that companies want. That's why they're coming here. And therefore, we do find ourselves in a moment where we need to make sure that we are matching those great opportunities with this workforce, with people who are looking for that great next step. And that's today our twofold mission. The first part is introducing everyone in Virginia and across the United States, and of course the world, to a great new resource. Virginia has jobs, and we've got a lot of them. 250,000 of them across the Commonwealth. And when I say across the Commonwealth, I mean everywhere. About 100,000 of those jobs are here in Northern Virginia. But that means 150,000 of those jobs are elsewhere across the Commonwealth, from Lee County all the way over to Virginia Beach. And that is a dynamic moment for us. And those jobs stretch across every industry imaginable. Advanced manufacturing, health care, space. I mean, by the way, space, I'll take one of those jobs. They stretch across everything imaginable. Education, law enforcement. We need folks to take those jobs. And therefore, I stand here today with leaders from across these industries who want to hire people, all the way from, yes, Capital One to Micron, all across our healthcare institutions, including those that are here in Northern Virginia. Estes, PenFed, Amazon, Clark Construction, GCO, Chartis Federal, Quantum Leap, Blue Sky Innovators, of course, HCA Reston, in addition to Inova and everybody else. This is the opportunity in the Commonwealth of Virginia that has been unleashed. And this is the opportunity that stands in front of every Virginian or others that may want to move here and take part of it. I have to say, we have seen the evolution and opportunity in the Commonwealth, and it has been unlocked, and there is an open door to walk through to take advantage of it. And anyone can find that open door through virginiahasjobs.com, because right there the jobs are. $250,000 of them. And there's all kinds of resources that not only connect you to those jobs, resources that help you find training, resources that help you find support through our dedicated agency in Virginia, Virginia Works, resources that help you get to one of our community colleges and take advantage of Fast Forward or G3, which is mostly even paid for by the state to get a new credential or a new certificate to find the avenue towards this great career. We connect into the web pages from our employers, and I have to say I went through a number of them last night, and there are thousands of jobs available in the Commonwealth right here in Northern Virginia. I spoke to a number of CEOs yesterday who said, we've got jobs, we want to hire people. And in fact, the Greater Washington Partnership has a huge effort to make available their members new opportunities to everyone. So if you haven't noticed, Virginia's soaring, and it is dynamic. The 250,000 jobs that are available today will be enhanced because the nearly $100 billion of commitments that have been made by companies to expand in Virginia will support another 65,000 jobs. This is growth, and this is opportunity. We will have a statewide rollout where we go to every corner of the Commonwealth, and we do exactly this. We stand with employers, we stand with entrepreneurs, and present to people the reality. Come work here. Come experience those powerful words of "you are hired." Take advantage of the resources that will help you find your pathway to that career of your dreams. That is Virginia today. Now, I understand, and I actually have extraordinary empathy for the fact that there are many workers in Virginia today from our federal workforce who are experiencing real concerns. Listen, we have a federal government that is inefficient, and we have an administration that is taking on that challenge of rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, and driving efficiency in our federal government. It needs to happen. The federal government has $37 trillion in debt. They've been running a $2 trillion a year deficit. They need to go to work. And I would suggest that our federal workforce is not at fault here, but the reality is any CEO who steps into a position where there is an organization that has got such deep financial challenges is going to have to make change. And therefore, I recognize that this change will impact Virginians. We have a lot of federal workers in the Commonwealth. And I want to make sure that they know we care about them and we value them. And we want them to find that next chapter should they experience job dislocation here in Virginia, because we have that next great opportunity for them. What I want to make sure I communicate very clearly is we care about you, and we have a support system in order to help you find that next great opportunity. This is a family experience that is personal to me. When I was growing up, my father lost his job twice. Once forced us to move from Richmond down to Virginia Beach, and a second time disrupted a large part of our financial condition in our family yet again. And I understand what this does to families. And that's why today we are very importantly launching an initiative to provide federal workers a support resource bundle that enables them to know that we're here to support you and we want to help you on your journey to that next great opportunity. It starts by getting all the information in a place where people can find it. And so I would invite anyone who has experienced any job interruption or is fearful that they might, to please avail yourself of the resource bundle that is available to them. This bundle can be found at governor.virginia.gov/federal workers support, or you can email directly federalworkersupport@virginiaworks.gov. And there is literally a plethora of support systems available to help you on this journey. It starts, of course, with opportunity. It starts with 250,000 open jobs. It starts with helping folks recognize that their skill set is needed and wanted in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We then scaffold in training programs and support systems so that they can get resume writing supports. They can directly connect into advisors at Virginia Works. And they can find that training program if they need it that will connect them with the skills and capabilities to go take one of these amazing jobs. And I know for a fact that each one of these companies has their own onboarding capabilities that brings employees in to their great organizations. And of course, there is a whole resource set to make sure that folks that are experiencing dislocation can readily apply for unemployment insurance benefits, can understand that those are available to them and how to get them, and of course to make sure that they understand their health care options so that they can continue to provide that important basket of support for their family. This bundle is important. Opportunity, a pathway to it, and of course a bridge to get from here to there. Now, today we stand at a position where our unemployment insurance trust fund in the Commonwealth of Virginia is robust. It has $1.5 billion in it. That's the same amount it had before the pandemic, and we weathered the pandemic incredibly well. We have gone to work at the Virginia Employment Commission and have met all of the backlog. And so we stand ready to support. And then finally, and I think most importantly, is we have a direct line into the Employment Commission to answer any questions that anybody may have. Virginia Works was set up specifically to provide the pathway back to a great job. And of course, once again, if you hadn't heard it, VirginiaHasJobs.com is a tremendous tool for folks to find this next great career. I want to thank all Virginians. Now, the day we started in our administration a little over 3 years ago, we set a goal to be the opportunity state of the nation. And that's exactly what we've become. We're the top state for business. We have the most amazing workforce. And most importantly, we have a pathway to that opportunity for all Virginians and anyone who might want to move here. I have to say that having more Virginians at work today than we have had in the history of the Commonwealth is a giant milestone. Having 265,000 more people working today than just 3 years ago is a giant milestone. In 2023, more people moved to the Commonwealth of Virginia than moved away from the other 49 states for the first time in over a decade, choosing Virginia for their future. This is the opportunity for all of us, and we want to make sure that it is available to those who need it most when they need it. And therefore, I want to thank all of you for taking time out this morning and helping us chart this path forward, but more importantly, helping people along that path. And with that, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you one of our great employers here in Northern Virginia, Micron Technologies. What an important cornerstone of this entire Northern Virginia area, a leader in semiconductor technology, a leader in advanced manufacturing, and a leader in collaborating with our high schools and our community colleges and our colleges to define great paths. And therefore, I want to introduce Delbert Parks. And Delbert knows he's responsible for the big Micron facility here in Northern Virginia. Delbert, over to you.
Thank you, Governor, for those words. Micron Technology, we've been in this region for 2 decades now. And in that time period, we have invested heavily in the community, and we understand, what we mean to Virginia. We take a skilled workforce that's obviously motivated, a pro-business environment, a strategic location, you get Micron. And what we do is not only we build memory, but we build opportunity, we build investment in community, we build an infrastructure that we want to continue to grow. And we announced a few months ago this historic investment that we're making in Virginia. It's a $2.17 billion that we're investing, which will bring in up to 2,700 jobs, Micron jobs, but also construction jobs. This is not the type of investment you make if you're not really invested in this community. We have demonstrated over time that we can take a skilled workforce like we have in Virginia, the innovation that we bring, and we can bring this type of technology to Manassas, Virginia. It is a technology that we normally would not have brought here in the past. But we were able to convince everyone that Virginians can do this, and there's jobs available. And so I want to thank the governor and his staff for their support of our CHIPS funding that we received, the incentive grant we received in the state of Virginia, and the city of Manassas. Without his support, this may not have happened. And we want to continue to look forward to the future, because this investment we're making is not just for now, it brings in other investments as we continue to grow the site. And as someone who has really worked hard in Virginia to bring not just innovation, but the community that we invest in, the K-12 partnerships we have, such as like with Nova and Virginia Tech, Richmond University, Norfolk State University. I'm on the board of Norfolk State University, so I have to give some word out to the green and gold. And also to Secretary of Labor, Brian Slater, your support, sir, and Nicole Overlay's support with the Workforce Commission. And as we continue to partner together, we look forward to how we continue to grow and invest, and we look forward to our future. I will say this, 4 years ago, we were concerned about the future of Micron in the state of Virginia. Yeah, we were here 2 decades, but we have to continue to invest. And so we're happy with where we're going. I'm excited about the process that we're under right now, and we're bringing a technology that will continue to grow and give us other opportunities to move forward. So again, I just want to thank everyone for all your support. As we move forward, we'll continue to invest. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I failed to do my job. I want to introduce Kathy Vick, the CEO of the Virginia Chamber.
I'm not shy. I was just going to introduce myself. Good morning. The governor talked about day one of his administration. Today is day one of my new job at the Virginia Chamber. And I cannot think, thank you, of a better way to celebrate it than to celebrate this initiative. Because there are a lot of people who have a choice right now as they're going through change. Federal employees, kids graduating college, those who are trying to pivot and find a different career. And they can choose fear, or they can choose faith. And they can have faith in Virginia and this administration because of initiatives just like this. Governor Youngkin from day one and his team, Secretary Slater, and the rest of his team have really worked hard to position accessibility to jobs, to training, to certification. But in a technological world, it can be very confusing how to match that skilled workforce with those opportunities. And VirginiaHasJobs.com does that in the most efficient way. So, Governor, you have my commitment that I will encourage the members, 30,000 strong, of the Virginia Chamber to use this portal to promote the opportunities and the jobs that we have all across the Commonwealth, and encourage workers and potential workers to use this tool as a resource. And as we put together the Blueprint 2035, encourage the next set of leaders to continue this momentum and continue that opportunity and that faith that you can have that Virginia will remain the top state to do business and have the climate where everyone can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's now my pleasure to introduce an old friend who is going to specifically talk to you about opportunities in healthcare, the president and CEO of the Hospital and Healthcare Association. Point of personal privilege, happy birthday tomorrow, Sean Connaughton.
Yeah, and my birthday tomorrow is definitely not day one. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of all the hospital and healthcare systems in the state, we just wanted to thank and really congratulate the governor and his administration on this initiative. When you look across everywhere in the state, some of the largest employers are hospitals and health systems. In fact, we estimate that there are over 450,000 jobs in hospitals and healthcare systems. And right now we have tens of thousands of openings. And having this initiative to actually be able to connect people with open employment, not just here in Virginia, but drawing people in from other parts of the country, getting the best talent possible to come to Virginia, is something that we view very, very positively, and something that we've been trying to do with our Onboard Virginia initiative that is just looking at a very specific sector, but it dovetails very cleanly with the governor and this initiative. It's funny, I was driving over here this morning, and it reminded me of a trip to this building a little over 20 years ago, right after it had opened. And I was coming to a workforce conference. I was the chairman of the Northern Virginia Workforce Investment Board. And it was one of those days in Northern Virginia, specifically the Tysons area, that was complete gridlock. And in fact, there was such bad traffic, we started the conference late. I made a quip at the beginning of the opening remarks about the fact that, hey, isn't it great that we all got caught in traffic today? And everyone's very quiet. And I said, you know why? Those are people going to work. Those are jobs that are going to work. And now you look at this area, and getting over here today was so much easier than it's been in the past because the state leaders decided to invest in the type of infrastructure that we need to make sure we're connecting people with jobs on a daily basis. This initiative is very similar to the type of role, the investment that the state needs to make in our workforce. Because first we've got to get those people to connect with employers. And that is what's so important about this. This is showing again, this governor and this administration is showing leadership and investing in our future together. So Governor, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done. I particularly want to say that we've dealt with a lot of different administrations. This administration has not only identified this issue, not just talked about it, but gotten behind and found solutions. And we know that in the healthcare area, when we have things like Earn to Learn, we have initiatives for GME, finding ways to train people, finding ways to retain people, and finding ways for people to get a better life. So Governor, I just want to thank you very much and turn it back to you.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Sean. So once again, thank you, and I certainly don't want to miss anyone who is standing up here in your great companies or anybody who's sitting here. At the end of the day, it is this robust, vibrant business community that drives our Commonwealth forward, and unleashing the power of innovation and unleashing the power of the business community to drive not just their businesses forward, but to provide opportunity for so many Virginians is at the heart of what we are talking about today. Again, I invite everyone, please go to virginiahasjobs.com. And I also want to reiterate that if you are in our federal workforce, we care about you, we want to support you, and we want to make sure that if you do experience any job interruption or changes, that you know where to go to get support infrastructure to find that next great opportunity with one of these fabulous employers. Again, that's governor.virginia.gov/federal worker support, or you can just email federalworkersupport@virginiaworks.gov. God bless you, and let's all get back to work. Thank you all very much.
Could just come in a little bit closer. Governor, we'll have you right next to Kathy. Secretary will bring you in. Our commissioners, if we could bring you up here as well. Perfect. I just need everybody on this side of the podium. Perfect. Come on up. Oh. This way. Oh.
For payers and providers. I hope you heard me when I didn't have the mic, but I'll pass it on.
Youngkin, really, Amazon. And I'm Nathan Boyd with Reston Hospital, part of HCA Healthcare.
Matt Kelly, JBT Smith.
Tim Nikach, Blue Sky Airways.
Nick McCarter, Charter Stedler.
Jim Miller, Quantum Leap.
Scott Davidson, GCO, but more importantly, as I serve the governor as the vice chair of the Board of Veteran Services. Please come out and see the resources for veteran families and anybody else that's also affected by this, because we have to support those who served us at very important times and keep us free.
Ryan Knapp with Clark Construction.
Kate Bates, Arlington Chamber.
Rob Estes from Estes Express Lines.
Kathy May, Virginia Chamber.
Sean Cron with Virginia Hospital Healthcare Association.
Janice Lynn with Capital One.
And Adele Parks with Micron Technology.
Thank you all very much. Now it's time for
Mike. What? I want to get an interview with one of the non-governor people.
You were just to negotiate it. Oh, you mean? Gobble's going to be here.
Yeah. But I'm saying after or before. Hi.
You're good. Guys,
Right here.
Catch up this week.
Okay.
the only one you were
What's the question? Ahead of time? Do you have any question ahead of time?
Now talking about the expansion, obviously, what that looks like in terms of progress with that.
Okay.
And then current political climate, what's been the support, if anything, from the Trump administration.
I can talk about where we are with the expansion. It's probably not anything with the Trump administration.
You want to answer?
All right.
Can we go further in here, actually? I want the background a little bit more generic. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, mic check, 1, 2.
Can we move away from this slide?
Sure.
It's missing everything.
And if the governor shows up there, we'll have to pivot. I apologize.
I got it.
Yeah. Just give me the entire time. First and last name, and how do you spell that?
First name Delbert, last name Parks.
Can you spell that for me?
Delbert. Last name Parks, Parks.
Title, and you obviously know the company, you can say that.
I'm the Vice President of Micron Technology in Virginia.
Just,
Ask a big favor. Could you say, this is
okay.
right there, right there.
Can you just, sure. Can you just explain to us the progress of Micron? I know there's the expansion in Manassas. If you can explain that.
Micron has been in Manassas for over 2 decades. We've made several investments. The latest investment that we're planning to make is up to $2 billion.
Sorry, the government.
Okay.
If you're around, I'll come
Okay,
at you.
that's good. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Everybody understands that there is tremendous opportunity in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And with the growth of business investment and the growth of job opportunities that we have demonstrated over the last 3 years, what comes with that is a need to connect with people who are looking for jobs. And that's what Virginia Has Jobs is all about. And then we find ourselves in a moment where there is an appropriate and needed efficiency effort underway at the federal government. And I understand the fact that there will be Virginians who are impacted by this. And I want to make sure that they understand very, very clearly that there is opportunity here in the state and there is a support infrastructure that's in place to help folks that might be impacted find the next great opportunity here in Virginia, and it is customized to them. It's customized to them with resources they can tap into to support not just finding that job and writing a resume and applying to find extra training if they need it for a certificate or a credential, which is supported by the state through Fast Forward or our G3 program. And then finally, if there is a break, that they have a pathway to understand how to apply for unemployment insurance, how to make sure that they continue to find healthcare benefits. That's really important. And all that's in place, and they can come to my website and find it, or go through virginiahasjobs.com, and they'll find the exact same set of resources available for folks. Net is, this is a chance for us to come together and continue to drive Virginia forward, and I'm excited about the future, and I know we can help those that need it along the way.
So, Governor, have you chatted with Fairfax County Chairman Jeff McKay about federal workforce matters?
I have not.
You have not? Let me
I have
read
not.
this to you. They passed this last week, and I want to get your reaction to it. I'll read some of it. It says, I am extremely disappointed that Governor Youngkin has stated he supports these reckless cuts that undermine our entire Virginia economy. It's time for Governor Youngkin to show his support for thousands of Virginians that are having their livelihoods stripped away, or those careers are hanging in the balance every day because of the drastic steps being taken by the Trump administration and the manner they're being taken. What's your reaction to that? The Fairfax County Board of Supervisors passed this board matter last week.
Yeah, it begins with just a clear recognition that Americans voted for a more efficient federal government. And that's exactly what President Trump and the administration are working to deliver. The waste, fraud, and abuse is stunning and shocking, and everybody sees it. But on top of that, we know that it needs to get more efficient. And therefore, there understandably will be some job dislocation. And that's where we come in. We have worked so hard over the last 3 years to build this vibrant economy, different than anything Virginians have seen before, with private sector opportunities abounding and an opportunity to take those jobs. And so I recognize that there may be folks that are going to have job disruption. And as I said, my family went through it when I was a child. I understand really how rough it is. And that's why I want to be clear to folks. We have got a pathway to a great career right here in the Commonwealth, and we are ready to help you along that pathway.
Governor, as we talk about this federal workforce downsizing, what are you doing to prevent these jobs from Virginians from losing jobs in the first place here?
Well, let me just begin with the fact is that I don't believe that the federal government downsizing is wrong. And in fact, we need to press forward and drive efficiencies in our federal government. And as a result of driving those efficiencies, I do expect that some Virginians will lose their jobs. And that's why it's so important that we provide alternative opportunities for them. And let's just be clear. The U.S. has $37 trillion in debt, and they were running a $2 trillion a year deficit. And this idea that we need to be more efficient and constrain our spending and add growth to it gives us a pathway to close that gap. It's critical that we do so, and I understand that there are some realities that are terribly anxiety producing, and on top of that, disruptive and hard for families. And that's why our discussion today is based on finding that next great opportunity right here in the Commonwealth.
Governor, do you believe that every single layoff was insufficient or actual wasteful jobs? We've talked to cancer researchers, we've talked to people who have been trying to help out in any of those kind of entities, and who feel like they got here for the public service component, not to be in the private sector.
So bottom line is, I have not been close to every single job. What I do know is this, that there are inefficiencies in the federal government, and the Trump administration is doing exactly what they said they were going to do and promised Americans they would do, which is find efficiencies in the federal government, get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse. And we have gone to work with the administration when we have seen real unintended consequences and worked with them and said, hey, there was a grant funding that was turned off to this group and it has nothing to do with what you're after. Can we turn it back on? And we've seen real success there. So what we're working on an incredibly important basis is to make sure that folks who do have job dislocation have great opportunities. And they're here in Virginia. You just watched, literally a battery of corporate leaders say, we have jobs, we'd love to have you. And that, I believe, is a great opportunity as folks move from public sector federal jobs into private sector jobs in Virginia. And oh, by the way, other public sector jobs in the Commonwealth. Those ones that are with the hospital systems, those that are with local law enforcement, those that are with our state government. We have openings in state government, and they will find a link on our website to go find those opportunities as well. This is our moment where Virginia's robust economy and growth and job opportunities meets the need unlike any other state. Unlike any other state, we have job openings and opportunity at a time when I believe people will really need them, and that's exciting.
Governor, have you had conversations with the state defense contractors about what cuts to the Pentagon budget may mean for them?
So I have spoken to a number of the leaders for some of the contractors, and the consistent theme is that they in fact are delivering efficient quality outcomes, and they have thoughts about how to make the Pentagon even more efficient. And so I think that is going to be embraced by the new secretary and the team to in fact use some of these great private sector capabilities in order to drive efficiency and outcomes at the Pentagon as well. We all know that in fact the defense infrastructure and the intelligence infrastructure in the Commonwealth of Virginia is critically important to national security. And I do believe in the long run we will see investment in Virginia grow as a result of our capabilities and, by the way, the great professionals that are here.
We have time for one more question.
This is a separate question on immigration for Telemundo. So in the current budget, it doesn't have a provision on sanctuary cities having their funding withdrawn.
Yes.
Do you plan to add that provision in or do something else to pressure cities that are limiting ISIS movements?
Yeah, so first, let me just back up. We have a great collaboration in place with the federal government, with state government, and many localities to understand that violent criminals who are here illegally need to be dealt with and need to be dealt with swiftly. And that's new, by the way. I have not had that collaboration with the previous administration, and I am so excited by the fact that we are now working across multiple agencies in order to get violent folks who are here illegally off the streets and get them back to where they came from. And that's really important. And I do intend to continue to use everything that within my gubernatorial authority to make sure that localities are cooperating with the federal government, with state police, to get these violent folks who are here illegally off our streets.
Thank you all so much.
What advice do you have for Elon Musk?
You're going to write this one. Here we go. Thank you all so much.
Any advice for Elon Musk?
Here we go.